I've come up north under cover of darkness. I'm going to spend 6 or 7 hours here waiting for my wife to finish her business. Then we're going to scurry back south, evading checkpoints. My sister lives up here, so if you see me running, it's because I've heard a Mancunian woman shouting at me. It's nice being in a different place. It's still England, but it's the soil is very different. Looking at the stones, but I long to be next to a river. I long to be next to rivers, and there's a river somewhere near here. A proper river, not a canal. The River Bollin starts at Macclesfield, which used to be a great forest that belonged to a man called Macca. And Macclesfield was a clearing, probably, within that great forest. And then wends its way through Old Cheshire, which in the Saxon period was called Leicestershire, which means the Shire of the legions of the fort. It lost its Leia part at some point in the past, is now Cheshire. He then goes beneath Manchester, which was Mancunium, which probably is a Latinisation of something to do with a mother goddess of the river or something like that, before joining the Mersey. Now, we don't know what Bollin means. It's probably Welsh. It might have something to do with a belly in a lake, but we really don't know. It's very, very obscure. We do know what Mersey means. It means the boundary river in Old English. This is the River Bollin south of Manchester, and the estate is just up there, the motorway is just up there, and this whole place is like a centre park for families in the south of Manchester. It's really nice to see. They've been throwing themselves in the river, they've been throwing the dogs in the river, the kids have been cycling up and down, they've been having a great time. And when in Rome. I had trouble describing this soil, and that's because I don't see it very often. It's sandy soil, so that's what it looks like. It's very fine tilth. I understand it has just as much problems as clay does, just in different ways. It's a nice place. It's just sad that the roar of the M56 is constant. Well, I don't know it's constant, but it's constant while I'm here. I think that's Roman, which is nice. I think it's burnished, it's black. How beautiful, that's a nice little find. Nice little hotspot. I thought we might have get some pottery as we got close to the farm. So what use is finding a bit of Roman pot on its own in a field? Not much at all. Context. We are about a mile. We're not far from the Bollin River. We're about a mile from where the Roman road from Chester crosses the Bollin River. So, and next to that crossing, they found a piece of amphora, which is a great big pottery jug for holding wine or olive oil or whatever. And not far from there is a Bronze Age, well, certainly a round barrow cemetery. I don't think anybody's dug it because they didn't want to give a date or a period to it. But there's nothing visible today. I had a look at them, the satellite photographs, couldn't see anything. What a pretty place, even though you've got the spirit dampening effect of the M56. What a racket. It is a little bit bucolic out here. It's nice. It's greener up north. It's much more brown down south. It's I can find the brownness a bit dreary. I mean, look at all that. Look at all this Himalayan balsam. Absolutely loving it. It must have been quite wet here. And there's meadow sweet down there and down here. And so the wildflowers. So it can't have been as dry as down south. Still very sandy, and we've got grazing land here. So it's a dual use, I guess. This stream is Blackburn Stream. Now, it might be a name. I haven't looked it up, but it might be Blackburn, a man called Mr. Blackburn Stream, or it could be the Blackburn. So stream might be redundant. It could be, you know, I mean, it is quite dark. And we have Himalayan balsam. There's nothing old about these. These are recent immigrants, and they are. I was against them. I was one of those people who supported volunteers going around cutting them down, but basically by doing that we are peeing into the wind. What a waste of time. But look at the beauty. Would you prefer a nettles or Himalayan balsam? I think Himalayan balsam are a very pretty addition to the English countryside. Look at those flowers. Nice variation as well. White and pink. But we have these, what are very native, are these older trees, and they love the wet. They're nitrogen fixers. Presumably the soil's so poor for them they can't really do much growing, so they fix nitrogen. They're a bit like a pea or a sweet pea or whatever. They're not actually pea plants, but they take nitrogen from the air and put it into their roots to store it for later. And in Old English that's arlor. And there's quite a few of them on the banks here. I've been robbed by the National Trust again, as they put their hand in my pocket and relieve me of another £10. And what do I get in return? The possibility of getting close to a river in a bit, that in a part of the countryside that isn't public. That is, and that's about it. The gardens, uninspired, a little bit municipal. I don't mean to be unfair. I could say, well, there was a couple of areas where woodland meets perennial planting meets a little stream. That was quite nice. Big swathes, large volume, diversity, and a little bit less formal. It was, very feathery and shaggy. It was good. But the rest of it just is, I've seen better in town centre car parks. But This is delightful, some of the park. Where you canter slightly towards the wild, like this in the deer park, there's a possibility of creating something good. So all of those plants there are, if not native, they appear native, and they fit into the landscape very prettily. There are ring-necked parakeets here in the frozen north. Now, I knew they were in London and places like Slough, but they haven't come to Bristol. Oh, such a pretty trotting. They haven't come to Bristol, and they've decided instead to come to Manchester. It's not even within the sort of city boundary where it's nice and, you know, a couple of degrees warmer. So God knows what's going on. I'm very jealous. Ring-necked parakeets, if you're holding fruit, will come. They will come and eat it. They're very cheeky, so-and-sos. And very enjoyable feeding parakeets. They don't belong here, but somehow this species has managed to, there must have been an escaped pair, managed to survive, and that was it. Off they went. National Trust, all is forgiven. They've put in a permissive path along the Bollin, not marked on the map, so you can walk along. I don't know how far it goes. I've only got an hour left, so I must turn back soon. But it's a pretty meadow. Multiple channels from the river. It has been manipulated by human hands because I'm walking on a dike now. And look at all this ragwort. Loads of it. The Himalayan balsam. Got a willow. We've got the alders all the way around this tributary here, and all's right with the world.